Hello everyone, welcome to the Cinema Analysis channel. I am Kozoll. This channel will explore the hidden truths of films that are not usually revealed. Today I want to talk about First Blood, about what the film predicts, and about the key line, "They do First Blood, not me." If you haven't seen the film and don't want to know the story, I suggest you watch the film first before watching this video. So let's get started. One of the outstanding features of the film is that Rambo, the hero, at first appears to be an ordinary young man. The lead actor Sylvester Stallone was already famous for his role in Rocky, but Rocky was a guy who was too old as a boxer and lost in the end of the film. In 1981, Stallone appeared in an excellent action thriller, Nighthawks, in which he played an ordinary man, a detective, albeit who had served in the army. Both are portrayed as ordinary people. Until then, Stallone had never been seen as a killing machine. Joan Rambo, the hero of this film, looks like an ordinary young man when he appears. He visits the house of an acquaintance, only to be told that he is already dead. It is only hinted that he had served in the Vietnam War. The town he visits on the way, called Land, was impressive with the words "Welcome to Hope" at the entrance. There he is wrongfully arrested by a sheriff named Teaser and abused by his men. Rambo's memories of being tortured in Vietnam come flooding back and he escapes. He hides in the mountains. On this occasion, one of the sheriff's deputies dies and several others are badly injured, leading to a major incident. It is then revealed that Rambo is a former Green Beret. The disclosure of information in this early stage is very good. In this film, Stallone hasn't bulked up as much as he did in Rocky. With his clothes on, he looks like a normal person. In the first sentence of the original story, Rambo is also portrayed as just a normal ordinary young man by all accounts. When Rambo is taken away, he is stripped of his clothes and we see scars on his well-built body, apparently caused by a knife. This is where the audience and the sheriff know that something is wrong. Then flashbacks to the torture he suffered in Vietnam, and we are to witness his martial arts against the sheriff's deputies, guerrilla warfare in the woods with handmade traps. A person whom the arrogant sheriff abused for fun had an enormous power. Then came the information of Green Beret. Teaser says, "God in heaven to make a man like Rambo." A man appeared to reply, "God didn't make Rambo, I did." This is Colonel Sam Trautman, Rambo's former superior officer. He tells us that Rambo is the best soldier and the most terrifying killing machine. Here, the scene we see changes completely. It seems that it is Rambo who is to be pitied, but it turns out that it is those who hunt him who are really to be pitied. This is essentially a monster horror film. You can think of Rambo as the same as Jaws. Tension lasts throughout the film, but there is also a sense of warmth because the American establishment seems somewhat incoherent and haphazard. And Rambo, unlike the original, tries to avoid pointless killing as much as possible. Horror and panic films are often accompanied by troublemakers who behave in an unconstructive manner. They make the situation worse. In this film, it was Teaser, but his men, the National Guard, almost everyone except Trautman were the troublemakers. They all put their own desires first, are incapable of acting rationally, and make the situation worse. One of the National Guard let his son, who seemed to be about 15 years old, carry a gun and take part in the hunt. As expected, Rambo doesn't hurt the boy. They surround the cave where Rambo was. One of the National Guard refuses to reconnoiter, saying, "I do this part-time and I didn't come here to get killed. Now he is probably in there just waiting for us." They then fire a rocket into the cave and cheer. The sheriff, Teaser, is furious with the National Guard. This scene is interesting because it shows the complicated administrative structure of the United States and the struggle for jurisdiction. And Teaser is convinced that Rambo is dead, even though the body has not been found. Rambo is a killing machine, but he doesn't show his true potential easily. The audience is glued to the screen on the edge of their seats, wondering when he will get angry and cause havoc. Angered by the rocket, Rambo returns to the town and starts his revenge. But instead of killing people, he destroys a petrol station and shops. He gets into a shootout with Teaser, but the story ends without killing him. Rambo's former superior officer, Sam Trautman. This name has a significant meaning. Sam means Uncle Sam, the nickname of the United States of America. It was the United States of America itself that created Rambo. David Morrell, the author of the original story, describes this in a book named The Lineup. And Rambo was forced into problem behavior for two reasons. One of them is that he was brought up to be a killing machine. The other is that the existence of a guy like him was not allowed. The former was done by Trautman, the latter was done by the whole American society, and the teaser was typical. Both of them symbolize American society. The basic structure of the story is parricide. Parents give birth to children and raise them, but they conflict and kill each other. The reason for the conflict is that the parents' ideas, often the ones that suit them, are imposed on the child and the child rebels against them. It doesn't matter who is right and who is wrong. The outcome of the confrontation depends on the story. Rambo was brought up to be a killing machine and was discarded after his service. Even though he just kept traveling because he couldn't find a job, he was prejudiced and abused, and he clashes with the enemy. The United States of America had created a soldier like Rambo for the profit of its own. Existence for its profit became its threat. The relationship between Rambo and the United States is exactly the same as the one between foreign power and the United States. The United States has created soldiers like Rambo to serve its interests. What was there for your benefit turns out to be a threat to you. The Pahlavi dynasty, supported by the US, lost its power in the Islamic Revolution. Since then, Iran has been a natural enemy of the US. And when war broke out with the neighboring country Iraq, the US supported Iraq and made it attack Iran. The leader of Iraq at the time was Saddam Hussein. Afghanistan was invaded by the Soviet Union. The United States supported the Muslims who fought back against it. One of those Muslims is Osama bin Laden. Both were raised by the US to serve its own interests. Needless to say what happened to them afterwards. Trautman ordered Rambo to surrender by radio, but Rambo refused, saying, "They do first blood, not me." The term first blood means the first attack that causes damage, and was used in boxing. The term is the title of this film. It means that Rambo appears to have caused the problem behavior, but it was the American authorities who drove him to it. In this respect too, the relationship between Rambo and the US has exactly the same form as the one between foreign powers and the US. The US is very good at securing its own legitimacy by forcing the enemy to fire the first shot or make it look like they have. The first trigger for the Vietnam War, in which Rambo served, was said to be the Gulf of Tonkin incident. The US claimed to have retaliated after a North Vietnamese patrol boat fired 2 torpedoes at a US Navy destroyer in the Gulf of Tonkin. This was the beginning of the Vietnam War. In 1971, it became obvious that the US fabricated this incident. The original story was published in 1972. David Morrell, the author of the original story, knows about the fabrication, of course. It is also written in the lineup. The title of the original story, which was written for the purpose to charge Vietnam War, symbolizes it. Furthermore, the trigger for the Iraq War was the existence of weapons of mass destruction, which Iraq was said to possess. These also did not exist. Studying the history of the United States shows many similar cases. The original story published in 1972 and this film made in 1982 foretold the history of the United States that followed. It did so because it captured the essence of the history of humanity's repetition. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up.